Hi there guys, welcome to a really scintillating video about a battery. Probably not the most exciting product I've ever put on this channel, but I thought it's worth posting up because if you're like me, you've looked at the price and thought, well, it's probably going to be garbage. It's not, it's actually quite good, but there is one potential deal breaker depending on how you use it and whether it bothers you. I'm going to do this in the form of a poop sandwich here, so I'm going to tell you something positive, and then I'll tell you what the deal breaker is, and then something positive at the end as well. Does it last the 50 hours that it's quoted at? I would say that would be on the extreme. You might get it with one pedal, and if it's a low draw pedal. Personally, I'm getting between 15 and 18, and that's running 2 to 3 pedals, nearly constant as well, because I'm using a delay and a drive that I kind of leave on, so I don't think that's actually that bad, and that's on one overnight charge. You've got a battery indicator on the face of the unit. You press the button on the front here, and 4 bars illuminate to let you know how much charge you've got. Bear in mind, if you're getting, say, 20 hours of battery power, and you've got 4 lights, that means each bar is 5 hours. If you've got 1 left, you're not going to know whether you've got 15 minutes of charge or 5 hours of charge. So as soon as you get down to 1 bar, you're going to have to charge it. A question a lot of people are going to have is whether you can simultaneously power pedals whilst charging a unit. And the answer is yes, you can, but there is one slight caveat to that. And that's that there needs to be some kind of nominal charge in the battery in order to power pedals. So if you completely and utterly discharge the battery right down to absolutely nothing left whatsoever, there's a period of about 3 to 5 minutes where it's trying to put the juice in the battery that will then power the pedals. Now 3 to 5 minutes on the stage would be an eternity, so you want to start charging it way before that happens. And the final battery indicator light will flash to let you know that it's about to die on you. I would recommend plugging it in before that, otherwise you're going to have 3 to 5 minutes where you can't use your pedals. The potential deal breaker is that this button on the face of the unit is a charging indicator button. It is not an on-off as I thought it was going to be. So the only way to stop this draining whilst it's in your pedal board sat in a case is to unplug it every single time. For me, it's not a problem. I've just got 3 pedals running up a daisy chain and I unplugged the one thing. It's a shame that that button on the face of the unit wasn't like a, depress it for 4 seconds and it turns off type situation. But unfortunately it's not. So that'll be something to consider. Another positive would be that this is an isolated power supply. I bet there's not too many 25 quid completely isolated power supplies on the market. Generally speaking, the cheaper ones don't tend to be isolated. You don't tend to get that until you're around about 100 quid. So from that perspective, this is kind of a bargain. The charging device is one of these sort of generic wall wart things, quite a thin, flimsy cable. This is neither a positive nor a negative. I'm just adding this in. It's 5 volt and has kind of a proprietary plug. It's different to your standard 9 volt adapter. This is something to think about because if you got to the day of the gig and you found that you'd broken your flimsy little cable here, you're not going to be able to find a 5 volt with that adapter in your hometown. I would struggle to do that. You're not going to be able to order one up fast enough. It's a shame it's not just a regular 9 volt because I've got hundreds of those lying around from different products that have them. Now I totally understand why they've done it because you don't want to be able to plug the in into the out and the out into the in. So that's just something to bear in mind. It's not a positive or negative, but you might want to either have a spare one on hand just for that that eventuality, or some other way of powering your pedals. 9 volt batteries, for instance. If you get the Thomann version, it ships with a Euro plug. Now I don't know whether this is some kind of like 2 fingers up because of Brexit, but you're going to need, if you're English, obviously your 3-pin jobby. You can pull that section of the adapter out and just have one of these sort of generic 2-core things. You might want to do that and maybe get the 3-pin version of this side of the wall wart. Other than that, it's a really great unit. I like it. I've used it for about probably about 2 months now. I've not had any issues with it. It's made of plastic, not metal, but then there's plastic floating in the ocean that lasts 50,000 million years and kills all the baby turtles, so I'm sure it'll last for a couple of gigs. Here's a quick look at the recording setup I used for that jam in the field. So I started off with the atomic amplifier box, which was obviously powered off the battery pack, and then went into a radial ABY big shot, which I used to split the jack output into 2 signals. That then went into the stereo input of a Tascam DR40. Now the Tascam has an overdub feature, which is what allowed me to pre-record the music and then play over it in the field. I then came off the headphone out and into a Sony portable speaker. I hope you guys dug this video. If you did, maybe drop me a like on it because it helps other people see this information too. And maybe check out some of my other videos. Alright, see you again. Later.